starts. Oh, let's do this.
So Derrick Rose might join the Cavs.
He might join the Lakers.
So
he
here,
had a 2 hour floor.
Listen to this crazy stat though. If he joins the Cavs, every NBA MVP from 2009 to 2017 will be on Cleveland or Golden State.
Wait, what?
If he joins the Cavs, every MVP from 2009 to 2017 will be on the Cavs or the Warriors.
See if this is green screened out.
So I guess I didn't leave anything in there.
That's good. Or supposedly. How does it look? Is it green screened?
No, surprisingly it's not.
Okay, cool. And
Fucking bastards for $1,000 for
you think there was really $1,000?
No, I don't think I'm stupid enough to just leave it there, right?
No, I don't think so.
I should fucking check before I sold it.
You should have. Definitely, for sure. We're live, Benji.
Honestly, if Paul, if it's gone, forget about it. Because he already said he checked below it.
So we're good here.
It wasn't there. Don't worry about it.
I'm just overthinking it.
We're good here. We're good here.
Overanalyzing it, Bocci.
Yeah, probably. When we want to go on the GoPro, we turn this on. So we're
I
live.
use the headphones for the stream.
Here are the headphones.
It's live! It's live!
This is not the right.
It's
Rock
live
and roll
now.
McDonald's. Rock and roll
Sure.
McDonald's.
Wrong slideshow.
Rock and roll in and out, buddy.
Which one am I hearing it through?
Mine.
Oh,
Facebook.
Woo!
I feel it. I feel the old school in my spirit. It's flowing through my body, through my veins, down to my toes. I'm walking on it. Get
No cold
out,
ice cream,
Bocci.
says Seth
Get
Miller.
out.
I'm not gonna get out. I'm staying in.
Get out, you cheater.
Okay, here's our.
You checking the YouTube comments, Paul?
Yes. Seth Miller says snow cones are ice cream, Benji.
Snow cone. All day. But it can't be one of those, like,
everywhere.
snow cones that's been in the bottom of the dude's cart for like 8 months that's just rock hard, because that's a bullshit snow
My
cone.
coffee and then we're good.
Fresh snow cones. Everyone watching just got gogged, so get out. Wah! So Bocci's just getting himself some coffee. But we got some cool guns to show you guys. Some cool gear.
Start, Benji.
Some cool stuff to talk about. I'm already rambling on. First things first, this is Bocci's old sniper. Serial number 853. Pretty nice old specimen. We got the Carter. This one is a 93 to 94 Carter with, I forget what these expansion chambers are called, but Tasso expansion chamber. What else is on here?
Rock, stock.
Stock, brass ram, brass three-way.
I think is the three-way brass or is it a Tasso one?
Brass.
Oh, brass. Scoot over a little bit. Or
Got a brass trigger shoe. Alright, you got your list.
Yeah, we got it right here. Somewhere.
Cool.
Yo, Dan, open the door.
Oh, we got an Andre.
Hey, our USC fighters here.
Alright. We got a last minute addition, so I'm gonna add this chair right here. Put the back on that one. Put Andre in the middle for this.
Probably not.
Andre, we're rolling already.
Oh, we're rolling?
Rolling.
We're rolling Paintball DNA. Milk
Yes,
and
sir.
cookies. Paul is here?
Yo!
Holy shit!
Holy shit.
We have
Oh
fun.
my god. Dude, what is up, dude?
Get
I'm
in.
so glad I ate edibles before I came. This is amazing.
So glad we're live.
Scoot over a little bit. Please, sir.
Which way you want me?
Well, everyone knows I'm a screw up here, so they're just like, oh,
Why
that guy.
didn't you bring me any, damn it?
Oh, I have a whole bunch of them in the bag.
Well, thanks for bringing me some.
Can you make it through here?
Yeah, I'm gonna put my contacts in so my eyes don't glare on this.
It probably doesn't matter. You can wear your UVEX over that.
Wow, Jerry Vomaka is watching from Comic Con.
Cool. What's up, Jerry? What
San
up, G?
Diego Comic Con, right?
Jerry told me how to pronounce his last name. I'm trying to remember. I think it's Vomachuk.
Vomachuk?
I think that's right. Jerry, correct me. I know I'm butchering it. Ooh, what is it? Ooh. What size is that?
5 mils sativa, so it'll hit you in like an hour and a half. It's just super chill. And it's like, it's minty.
It's minty and super chill.
Super minty. Wow. Okay.
Not to wear Jordan today.
That's okay. That's why you're sitting over there by yourself. Not with us over here. Isolated.
Oh, the paintball, the Nelson paintball.
All right, let's
didn't come in yet.
get going. Got people watching.
R.I.P. the Nelson Paintballs.
No, they didn't come in yet. They didn't come in yet.
Oh, you were right. It's Vomachka. Vomachka.
Vomachka, that's what it was. I was like, because I asked him how to pronounce it. He came out with that. Where's your family from again, Jerry?
Sounds like
There's a little coffee still. You can go grab some.
Russian or
Are those from Trader Joe's?
something like
Yeah,
that. Those
Trader
are Trader
Joe's.
Joe's.
Trader Hose. Alright, Paul, is your quality turned down?
Yes.
On all of yours. So I don't, Benji, you're watching Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have YouTube up there. And then we also have our... So we can also have our slides up at the same time.
It's from Prague. Prague?
Okay, so we got our
Where's
slides
Prague?
Cool.
here. Prague is in Czechoslovakia.
This
Well,
thing
it's in
smells
Czech.
now, right?
intense, dude.
It's chocolate milk.
Well, we got people watching. Let's start
Okay,
talking some
so-
What
paintball.
is that? Oh, contact lens.
Here, Andre, pop a squat.
Do your contacts over here. Are you gonna do them in the bathroom?
No, I'm probably just doing the bathroom. I'm just here to say hi.
So
Alrighty.
we are here, streaming out of LA, and July 20th. We got our whole PBDnA crew here today.
No RIP, no deaths.
Yeah. Although Andre's just out of the camera, but hopefully he'll stay out of the camera.
camera?
Yeah.
I'm on
Paul's on.
Paul's in the little
Picture in
webcam.
picture.
I'm
Oh
on a
man,
technical.
what? That's so technical.
What is it? Technical
God.
sleep. The person who doesn't wear deodorant basically sits here.
I brought some extra deodorant.
I mean, I haven't put deodorant on since this morning. So,
Okay. So what do we talk about first today?
well, we have various, we're going to try our GoPro setup again. It's probably going to fail. Warning everyone about that. We should have our sound working. It should be somewhat synced. If it's not synced, you just have to let us know. We have a kind of a random assortment of guns. Some of them we showed before. Some of them are kind of relevant for recent topics that we're going to lightly touch on. We're going to try to stream for probably an hour today. What do you think, Benji? An hour?
Hour.
It's 8 o'clock. We'll hopefully go to 9. And we have some topics laid out also. So I guess to get us started, we will... What do you want to do?
Can we start with some questions?
Sure, if there are questions.
Yes. Seth Miller 47 says, "Who's more like Apple, Planet Eclipse or Die?" I'd say both. Now both, because Planet Eclipse is coming out with
Say die.
Die.
More like
definitely.
die because the innovations have been coming out slower and slower and people are gravitating away from it. Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll say Eclipse is Android.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Die.
What about Bob
Apple.
Long?
Bob Long, dude, he's just doing his own thing.
Nobody
Bob
wants
Long's
to
HTC, dude.
Nobody
He's doing
wants
work.
to-
He's coming up.
make a comparison between Bob Long or Field 1 and Apple.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't compare Bob Long.
All I know is that
You guys are all anti-Apple, and But here we are with 3 computers that we're streaming on that are all Apple.
I don't think Seth likes Bob Long very much.
Okay, second question. Mech right feed slider or mech vert hinge? From Shogun Atomic.
Single trigger. I'm gonna go
Vert
right feed.
Single trigger vert feed.
Right feed.
Just what Benji has right here. Well, this is hinge.
This is Dan's main setup right here. His little S5. It's got a single trigger hinge with a vertical feed setup. It's really, really nice. I like right feed more. I just find it easier to sight down the barrel. But yeah, there you go.
I like right feed because I'm lefty.
And last question for maybe Andre, do you prefer hinge, right feed, vert feed, slider? I think Andre's
Right
more
feed,
of a
right or center
slider.
feed.
Right feed. He's the old school.
Slider, yeah.
I love this. I played with this marker before. This is a great piece.
How do you feel about this setup, though, Andre? If you were going to use this.
Cool. So that's an old school sniper. It's definitely got a bit of a stiffer trigger pull. It is right feed though. Doesn't have a front handle.
Yeah, that's interesting. Did they ever make this with a front handle or some kind of attachment that you can modify?
I mean, eventually that turned into your standard autococker with a vertical regulator.
Well, the important distinction here is that one's it would be a mini cocker or it would be a Sniper 3. So it doesn't have the ability to do the vertical ASA. So if you look at this S5 body, you can see it has a vertical ASA, whereas the Sniper 3 body is actually cut short.
Here, if you show it up. So for people not knowing, this would be a full-length body where you have the vertical ASA actually mounted on the body. This is a mini cocker. It doesn't actually have space for vertical ASA. You can put a front block that has a vertical ASA adapter on it, which is the way you'd be able to use a reg on it.
Exactly. So there are adapters to, like CCM makes a pump kit that has like a cylinder piece that kind of screws into the front here, and
so
then
it's
that
a mini
mounts your
cocker
pump.
ready.
And then it has a vertical ASA, so it's a slightly extended. It doesn't have the over the barrel pump, but the stock configuration right here is the over the barrel. We got some loud rap music outside.
Yeah. Thanks for explaining that, guys.
Did that make sense?
Problem.
I think it did. There's
More
another.
Dude, sweet JT pants, man.
Thank you, sir.
You were just ripping up
Lord.
the dunes in that, huh?
Yep, I was just racing,
getting ready
BMXing.
for doing some mounds.
Mounds, just like the Mound Classic coming up next
Iron
week.
City.
Berm
Classic.
life, dog.
Iron City Classic. I know we have a lot of friends and teammates playing that one.
Favorite color?
Favorite color? I like grayscale, which is kind of what I see normally, because I'm so colorblind.
What's the paint code? E6 what? What is it?
Oh, what is it? Is it B6, B6, or
Yeah,
is it B3, B3, B3? That's the gray scale that I like right there.
And bocce.
So,
Dull gray.
Shogun Atomic was asking, are mini cockers custom or were they ever manufactured? They were manufactured.
Yeah.
This is a manufactured gun
this
right
would
there.
be mostly stock. The barrel isn't stock on it. It's
But-
drilled. I mean, it's similar to a stock bull barrel, but it's drilled for porting, which wouldn't be stock.
But these were actually available for sale, pretty much as is, minus the barrel.
Yeah, from WGP. And you can see it also has a neoprene kind of, it's
Covered in the
basically,
pump kit.
yeah, it's basically just a piece of neoprene over the pump, and that wouldn't have been a WGP thing either. And this is like a stock bolt right here.
So machined aluminum.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are also a lot of custom-made ones that you'll see.
Mm-hmm. So like if you pull the bolt on here out, it's a little bit different. This is probably a Tasso bolt. I'm thinking because
And that's
this
Venturi. This one is.
Yeah, that one's just open face. Yeah.
Right.
And
So this is a Carter. You want to tell them more about it?
I think
That's
we've
yours.
shown this one a few times. This is John Pope's Carter machine autococker, and this is the autococker that he had made by Carter Machine when he was the manager at the Adventure Supplier and Outfitter, which is Tasso. So this is probably a Tasso bolt because he probably would have only used Tasso items really. And then he has a couple Tasso barrels to go with it as well. And Benji commented that the trigger is super smooth, so you can see how fast it returns back. It's super smooth slow motion, as I like to call it.
The anno on that thing is insane.
Yeah, so Benji got a mini cocker that's a close to the same color as this. He probably can't tell.
Mine, it seems like mine's a bit more teal or blue.
Is this keyed out, Paul?
Gray. Shouldn't
yes,
be keyed out.
It's invisible.
Totally invisible. The invisible gun.
Why is
Well,
it? Okay.
Okay, well that's actually, it gives us a good
Why is
time
the
to try
silver
the GoPro
gun
out.
eliminated
so Paul,
on the
to
green
turn this
screen?
on, all we
Because
will
it's like a
do
greenish.
is plug it in here, and then
So
it should
colorblind,
just
dude.
come on.
I see
totally
pure
fine.
silver right there.
You should
It's totally
see
fine.
it.
How come there's no
I don't
there's
know.
no
It's on the
pressure
green
adjustment
screen
on that?
for some reason.
Where do you adjust the?
Oh, 'cause it's behind.
So
Let's see.
on
Yeah, we can
these,
just leave it
you would
right there.
actually change the spring out. It didn't have.
You're kidding me.
No, you can move it up.
So if
You can make it smaller,
if
too.
your pressure was too high or low, you would have to change the spring out.
I mean, you pretty much you'd set it and then leave it
Yeah,
there.
Cool. And then
What?
you can probably take it behind.
But-
Then what happens if you're on the field?
No, I mean,
Yeah, I would say take it all the way down to here.
you should be able just to drop a 3/16 in there and turn it up. But some of them do have a kit that you just need to change the whole spring.
Oh, I see. It's all the way down.
So
Yeah.
let's see. We have the GoPro working.
But yeah, I
now.
have seen ones where literally
How's it look? Is
what you
it
do,
showing up?
you don't have to take the whole thing apart, but you just
Upside down.
unscrew
Upside
this
down.
back a little
Okay,
bit.
so here we
This
go.
will
This is
become
the
loose, and then you can take it
we were
out,
just
change the
talking
spring,
about.
or turn that. It's silly. It's dang. The way it is now. Is
So
how
when
it
you're
should be.
chronoing, you're like, wait, I have to disassemble the whole back of my marker in order to
So
change
Andre,
the
you want to show that Sniper 3, or one of you guys want to show the Sniper 3 there? And we'll just do musical chairs because when we show the GoPro, we have to have that chair empty. Is that right, Paul?
Should I keep this
No,
up
you can sit there
underneath
because
it?
it's behind. Yeah.
Bocce, should I keep this underneath it or should I move it?
You can
and
move
show
it.
against the
Yeah, it
light?
doesn't matter. You can put it on the floor or push it back on the bed or whatever.
I'll take that.
Oh shit, where was that? Was that in one of the cases?
No, that was mine.
Oh, I thought it was like in there for like
This is
2
a
weeks.
limited edition BacciPaintball plum.
Nice.
Plum life.
Was that on top of the fridge?
It's old school. No, I got it from
Nice.
Ralph's.
Nice. There's
Okay,
a whole bunch on top
so
of the fridge.
so while Andre's setting up that Sniper 3, I guess, well, it's already set up.
There we go. Hold it up closer to the camera. So you know what we should actually do is we should flip this over so you can see how you're showing it.
So that's backwards.
So you're upside down.
So
So you
turn
just gotta, There you go. Nice. Sick, homie.
So that's the
This is-
Sniper
this
3.
is the sexy side right
That's the
there.
sexy side. Connor asks, how short of a barrel can you put on a mini cocker and still have it remain accurate? Wow, where does he come up with these brilliant questions? That's really good. That's a question for Craig Palmer, Connor. I don't think I could help you with it.
I want to see Connor troll Craig. You'll get stabbed in the face.
So, let's go into some of our topics now, unless we have more questions. Have there been any that we missed, Paul?
let's go into it.
Yeah, there's a guy on YouTube who asked, would you rather play in a hot or cold weather?
I like to play in hot weather because I just love to be drenched in sweat. And people are probably like, well, that's a joke, but it's actually not. I just love like super hot weather. And I like to wear like 6 shirts at the same time. Benji?
So you can just pour sweat out.
Yeah.
I gotta say I like the heat also, just because like getting shot in your fingers and neck in 40 degrees hurts significantly more. So,
But
and I don't mind the heat. Plus, you know, you get to wrap cold on you. I
I
mean,
hate the heat. I don't play during the summers.
Asians
Yeah.
don't fare well in the heat.
we've noticed
That's
that,
That's the
Paul.
truth.
I only play during fall, winter, spring. Summer's my off time.
The off season.
Little hibernation.
Nice. What about recording video? Do you record video during the summer? You don't hit the field at all.
Unfortunately, I have to, because that's when everyone likes to play.
Oh.
I just stay home in front of the air conditioning all summer. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
your
Rosette's
life.
plan.
Option on Trump. Seth is Seth. You're killing Connor right now. Connor, you're being out trolled.
Connor says he'd take the leather interior. I don't even know what that means.
I don't think you're supposed to. Okay.
I mean,
What
maybe
should
that
we
one
show off
went
next?
over me.
Okay. Well, let's give a shout out to our UWL homies.
What up? What up?
So they just played UWL in Oregon this past weekend. We had my team, Black Sunday, took tactical 5-man, tactical 7-man, and then we had the Dirtbags playing all pump as usual, who won open 7, and Northwest Rogue won open 5-man. So big shout out to all those teams keeping UWL alive, crushing it on the Woods Ball front.
Do you know if there were any teams that traveled to the Portland UWL from like outside of Oregon and outside of California?
I
mean, probably Washington, but...
Yeah, I know there were a couple teams that came in, but I know that there was at least one team that was almost all ex-pros. I think Ransky was playing, and Rob was playing. I mean, I don't know who else.
Were they doing the Psychotic Six?
I don't think they were called Psychotic Six, but it was pretty much that same team, I think, from SC.
What were they playing as, do you know?
I'm going to have to look it up, but all I know is that our TAC squad actually beat them in the first game, and it all went downhill from there. So shout out to the Black Sunday squad. Sorry to the other guys.
I heard that...
I'm about to get slapped.
What's Mike's son's name? Brendan?
Brandon.
Yeah, I heard he had some pretty
killed it in the final game.
Moves. Yeah, like he pushed straight up through the center, hit a bunker, and then the guys in front of him just were like eliminated, like they just perished.
Well, what I heard was that they were doing some kind of check, like there was a bunch of confusion going on, and he just jumped on it and ran and took the flag in while chaos was happening and just won the whole game in, I think, 3.5 minutes.
That's badass.
And that would be his, I think, second or third tournament ever, and his second first place. Awesome. So following in his dad's footsteps.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
He had some pretty spectacular moves at the SC Village UWL back in January. A couple games where he made it up to, let's see, I guess it was like the right side 50. That's what I was filming at, and he just hit the flag and then hit into a bunker. And unfortunately, there wasn't really anybody else like backing him up right there, so he just got kind of rained on, and he got out eventually. But he did have some good moves, and I think he was playing. Was he playing tactical and? Like
he's playing
amateur?
Tactical and the beginner.
Yeah, so they did really well in the beginner. I don't know how they did in tactical.
Yeah, they won the beginner. Not sure about the tactical. But, I mean, here's a kid who's played 2 to 3 events, and he's just crushing it. So, for anyone who doesn't know, his dad, Mike, was Mike of the Ironman, Machine Gun Mike. So
Machine Gun Mike.
He's really following well.
Third generation Ironman.
Third gen. Yeah. We got a couple questions on Facebook. We got Adrian's asking, what's your opinion on backspin bolts or barrels? So he's talking, you know, a flatline barrel or a Z body on an automag or a flatline cocker.
I mean, 100% you can see the difference with a flatline barrel on an auto cocker. But I've never really shot a Cooper T backspin bolt or any other backspin bolt that really has like made an impression on me. What about you?
Well, I shot the Z body, the Z-Matic.
The Galactic Z body.
And I can't say I really saw that much of a difference with it. I saw a crazy difference with the flatline autocockers like that.
You're just like...
I mean, you're shooting...
Just like,
yeah, it's a good 150 feet further.
Yeah, it's just like the flatline barrel on a Tippmann 98 or an A5 or whatever else they would
I mean, your accuracy isn't going to be the best at that range, and you're probably going to be bouncing people, but 100% it works.
Yeah. And it's crazy because the ball looks like it kind of goes up and then it just floats without really losing. It
stays up there forever.
Yeah, it just kind of floats without losing altitude. I mean, it's losing velocity, but it's just kind of floating. And it's pretty crazy. Do you have a flatline cocker still?
I do not.
I have it's an ANS Gen X body that was actually cut for the flatline block. And it has a flatline block for it, and then it also has a cocker thread block. So you could take the flatline kit off, put the cocker thread block on, and take regular barrels.
Which you got to bring that one out.
Yeah, it's in Northern California.
That sounds really cool.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, I know that they have that Apex barrel, which you can pretty much turn any gun into a backspin.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't really that impressed with the Apex kit though. Have you used those and really seen it work? Seen it work just like the
I've used it and I've seen it. Well, not so much the flatline, but so for anyone who doesn't know, a flatline barrel puts a backspin on the ball, which lets it carry further. An Apex barrel, you can take that turn and turn it up, down, side to side.
It's like it looks like, you know, a rain cover or a silencer on the barrel. And you
just turn it.
Yeah, you turn it, and then it also has an adjustment for like
how hard you want the turn to be.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I've played an event, or not an event. I've played a day of rec ball with one of these, and straight up, there's a guy maybe 20 feet ahead of me behind a corner, and I turned that thing as hard as I could, and it went whoosh and G'd him out. Yeah. It's super cheap. Like, I didn't feel good getting that kill, so I put it away right after that. But they work.
Yeah, I never really had great luck with mine, but I was just using it on, I think, my Super Stalker, one of my Super Stalkers. So it was like, I don't know. I wasn't going to waste enough paint to really like play around with it with that.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I do like the flat line. So any other, do you have an opinion on that, Paul? Did you ever throw a flat line on anything?
I've never played with a flat line.
Well, I know one of our homies plays with one pretty regularly, which would be Jeff.
Equipment.
He seems to do some work with it too.
I prefer regular throws because I've never played with flat lines. So.
Yeah. Yeah,
My
you don't.
favorite,
You get enough kills just in close range and in normal range that you don't even have to mess with like trying to extend that.
14-inch barrels good enough for me.
Yeah.
Anything longer is just you need to play so far back from the bunker. So
Yeah, Andre was playing with
What
like
was
a
that thing?
18 or 20. It was
yeah, that's ridiculous.
it was
I played with an 18 and like because I played with an 18 on airball and like literally like switching hands is like
Yeah, it's like
oh shit.
Now the
You're not
crazy
like
thing
this,
is,
you're like-
Yeah.
now the crazy thing is, teams like or the Hitmen, who are one of the best pump teams of all time, arguably, they almost all play with 18s.
Oh, that's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them use it to actually push the barrel, and then they turn. I mean, they've got reasons for using them.
Yeah. I mean, you can
And
dig
they've-
it into your actual airball bunker, and it's, you know, probably
Yeah.
harder to...
I really like using an 18 also. Definitely is harder for airball.
Yeah, we had it was like I think it was an 18-inch Caner barrel with a Lapco sizer on Andre's Oracle.
Yeah.
And I was like, here, use this. And he's like, okay. And
I'm
then
like,
after a
I'm
couple
like,
hours,
this is
he's like,
definitely not
You got an
normal.
Oracle?
No, I had stands.
But the thing is, if you have like a super
I
long
like
barrel, like a
Oracle.
24-inch, what you can do is just have like a short bunker barrel.
24-inch?
Yeah, but you have a short barrel for bunkering that you
Yes,
keep on hand.
that's
And then
totally
if
true.
you're gonna bunker someone, you unscrew your 24-inch and you put the
No.
bunkering barrel on.
yeah.
Bop, bop,
Yeah,
bop.
like a
I've
close
never
range,
seen
long
a
range.
24-inch.
One of the guys in Oregon, Eric, he has a pretty good method for doing that. And I mean, it's not the way I would go, but works for him.
Is there a quick change barrel where it's like quarter turn barrel? Like
There
I
is.
don't wanna be like
Slots.
Automags have quarter
Yeah.
turn barrels.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Which is, I carry like a 6 different length automatic
Yeah.
barrels on my back,
You,
and I'll whip them out
You
and
stitch
torque it
your
on.
like Reds squeegee holder, your race, or your Reds barrel holder, your race barrel holder onto your Reds.
Well, I just
or,
use my stock class
race
harness.
pack. Oh, nice.
Stock class harness, like
'Cause
12
your-
barrels.
Yeah, your 10-round tube elastic pieces are so stretched out that they just fit barrels in them.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Nice.
Okay, let's see. 2 questions. Shogun Atomic is asking, does anyone use response triggers anymore? Yeah, go to SC Village on any day and you'll see a ton of people using response triggers.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Titmans have them, right?
Titmans, yeah.
But have you...
Otherwise, not really.
You have that micro mag with a response trigger.
Yeah.
Have you played with that much?
Nah.
I have a micro mag that the
It
frame
shoots
is...
too fast for what it could really feed.
Yeah. I have a micro mag that... And I have a response trigger sear that I'm going to put into it, but I haven't done it yet. But I haven't really used a response trigger. Otherwise, you have a good story that I think you've told pretty much every time we've
Which
streamed.
one?
Didn't your brother's original frame have a response
Yeah.
trigger? And
So, just tell it again.
go ahead.
Well, the
It's a great story.
Response trigger shoots when you pull and shoots when you let go. So my first gun ever was my brother's old Automag that I found in his closet, which happened to have one of these frames on it. So I would go, and it only had a 9-volt Revy on it, which feeds like 6 balls a second. So I'd go to the field, Close Encounters, Paintball USA, like 10 years old, and I'd be ripping like 13, 14 balls a second on this auto response and just shredding every single ball because, first of all, automags aren't easy on paint, and the 9-volt Revy can't keep up with it. But to me, that was just normal. So like, yeah, I'd rip, and I'd swab, So I'd probably swab like 100+ times a day, and I thought that was totally normal. It was fun.
I mean, it's normal if it's your way, if it's your technique. If you want to swab that much,
Yeah.
you
Well, plus,
swab that
I just
much.
yelled at people.
Yeah,
You're
yell
out,
them
you're out,
yell
and then
them
they get out.
I mean, that's how you really started that strategy that you still use heavily today. Yell them out.
I've
you know?
actually never shot someone. I yell, get out.
Or you surrender them, and
they
when
get
you
out.
surrender them, it's still the same thing. You're yelling at them.
Exactly.
Surrender! And sometimes they do. Most of the time they do.
He makes a good point.
Yeah.
I'm usually try to be on Benji's team. That's why.
It works 30% of the time, 100% of the time.
I would actually say it
Guaranteed.
works about 6.5/8. Yeah, we're about 6.5/8.
I didn't want to get it that precise, but
This thing's so
Good, man.
badass, dude.
So you're gonna vent it up?
vent it up.
This thing is completely invisible, I think.
Is it?
Hold on, let's
No.
wait.
When we're recording in here and we don't have an air conditioner, when we don't have central air, Andre
You
likes
say
to
when we
just...
don't have sensual air?
Yeah, there's definitely no sense.
Sensual air.
I know. Right?
Sensual. Yeah, when we don't have central air, Andre has to
Central air.
really vents it up.
I have to vent it up, guys.
I can just blow on you.
Oh,
And his hair blows in the wind.
It feels so good.
Just
I'm
use
not
a
gonna
jersey
do it
and
again,
fan
man.
it out.
Oh, the Nelson paint guy. Is that yours?
No, this is Bocci's.
That thing is ridiculous. Sorry, guys.
50 years of service.
Andre's
man.
been trying to...
We should get. We should
Get
take a
some-
picture of that if we get the balls.
Yeah, Andre's been trying to get some Nelson precision paint for us to test out. I don't think I've actually shot any Nelson paint in a very long time.
The new paint?
Yeah, the new paint. Have you? How
Yep.
does it shoot?
Shoots very good.
It shoots very good.
Very
Really?
good, very consistent from what I've seen.
Is it
And
the-
it seemed pretty big bore. I don't know.
Yeah, it's they say it's
like
6'8".
6'8".
Yeah, they're like it's 6'8" or 6. They said 6'7", 9 to 6'8", 8+.
I mean, that's a pretty wide
Yeah.
scale.
Yeah,
oh,
no,
great.
they gave me a
yeah,
huge.
6'7", to 6'9",
It could basically be any board.
They gave me the
diameter
scale, and I was like,
pattern
that's
diameter.
pretty much every.
Yeah.
It's anything from BB to bowling ball.
Yes.
So
Should be good to
basically,
go.
she said whatever it is for those sets of boxes, whatever it is for that run, it should be consistent throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
So
long as they make true 6'8" paint, I choose that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sick of having rollouts.
well, true 6'8".
True.
True 6'8" paint would be 0.68,
Which
which
is
would still be too
0.79.
small.
Right.
But we want it to be 0.688, basically 0.686
Bring back the 693.
to 0.693, because
Make
the larger
paint
you
big
have,
again.
the more massive your ball is going to be, and you know you're going to have a ball with more mass flying through the air. It's going to go further, right? I think.
I guess.
And I think it's gonna have more actual paint.
So in
it.
order to demonstrate this, me and Bocci are going to show you what balls look like.
Small balls
Flying
and big balls.
Mammoth
and medium
balls.
Medium. Okay, mammoth.
Apparently mammoth balls.
Shaved
I've
balls
actually
and
got
hairy
the
balls.
knuckle ball.
Definitely not. I do not.
Just
have hairy
one
balls.
though, the knuckle
The
ball.
knuckle ball.
Shaved.
No, shaved, half shaved.
We got no
shaved,
ball hair between the three
and
of us.
completely unshaved.
I don't grow hair. It's
He's
pretty
like a
terrible.
Ken doll down there.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous. Can everyone hear me?
I hope so.
I think
Yeah.
so.
If they can't, then we're doing it
She's
wrong.
showing this off before I send it aside. This is my German teammate Rick Sendehouse's jersey.
Yes.
He is one of the best paintball players I've ever seen in my life. Sendehouse.
So.
He's so good at bunkering people. Ow.
So.
Get out.
I think Rick had that jersey made when he was playing with the Paraplegic Turtles in. It's in one of the articles on the site. I'll have to link to it through the description in the video after this. But they made him that, and they spelled his name wrong. So he's like, "Here, I just had this," and he gave it to me. It was very nice of him. So when I do shoot one of his guns, then I'll have to wear that.
Here, Dan.
Sweet. So.
Are you guys all rocking dope sandanas right now?
Well,
Yes, sir.
I was rocking the Sweet Survival game.
The hat.
You should definitely
I just
check
picked up
out.
these.
Tell me the vintage on this hat.
These are the ones you just posted
Yeah,
on Instagram.
these are the photo stock color
Photo stock, yeah.
Sandana Venom wear.
So this is the
head
style that I
wraps.
actually like to wear.
You got
because
two
it
of them?
Covers
Yeah,
your neck.
and
And then the jersey.
the jersey.
Oh snap, dude! This is
I
definitely.
really like the color on it.
This you would die in Southern California with how heavy this is. But
Dude, this is lighter than the
yeah,
Renegade.
this
Is
is
it
actually,
really?
Feel these two.
Oh.
Renegades are beefy, man.
I think it's actually a little bit lighter.
so this is a synthetic blend. This is probably
Yes.
more of a cotton. Cotton.
Let's challenge your knowledge and see.
That's definitely a
Let's
cotton
see what
blend
it
because
says.
all this stuff was manufactured after 1970.
100% cotton.
No, shut up. Get out of here.
Says it right there.
And this one I think
100%
is.
cotton.
No way.
This one is.
You never know with Sandana though, because they're liars.
100%.
Paul would know more about Sandana than any of us.
They're liars.
Paul.
So that's
Give
definitely a
us some
later. That's
Sandana
definitely
knowledge.
a later print. That's
No,
not an
that's from
earlier.
95. Is
Yeah,
what
I
it
think
says
it's-
on the side.
I think it's.
But they're liars.
I actually, I thought that was a newer print, but then I was proved wrong to them. That is one of the really early Prince.
I mean, it's not really early because really early would be 1990.
So
And
back in the day, Santana was pretty awesome. It's just recently that they've been kind of liars and fucking over everybody.
Owners are in jail right now for selling like Oxycontin.
I thought it was. Wasn't it something worse? I'm not gonna
I don't
bring
know
it up.
what it was, but they're
Anyway, anyway, so
Dan's like, I don't want a lawsuit, man.
Ted, let's see, I'm probably gonna pronounce his last name wrong, but I think it's Ted Kanua. Ted Kanua played on Swoop. Fatal Swoop when they were initially sponsored by Sandana, and he said that the first pullovers and pants that they got on Swoop were like basically pajama material. So this would be obviously a little bit thicker than that. But he said they were like so nice playing in the summer in Southern California, but when you hit like when you slid at all, they would just get torn. But yeah, I mean, he tells about that in one of the videos that will hopefully go live soon.
Did you make it able to play that video?
I didn't even try. We can check it out.
We could just let that run at the end for anyone who stays on. So
Ben,
for anyone who stays on until the end, Dan made a 20-minute video from our last SoCal stock game at Jungle Island. So if you stay on, we'll run that at the end, and you guys can check that out.
That's right, I missed that one. I'm so bummed. I like Jungle Island.
You'll come to the next one.
When's the next one happening?
There is, for anybody else wanting to play SoCal stock, we have a 12-gram game next weekend. Its hoppers are okay, but you got to use 12 grams.
Ooh.
And we're playing at Field of Fire, right?
Field of Fire.
Field of Fire, and Field of Fire was in the news recently because someone actually used a smoke grenade there and lit the mountain on fire.
No way.
Yeah, it was all over the news.
Wait, was that the one you sent me the picture of all the bunkers burning down?
Yeah.
And shit? No
So
way, dude.
it turns out only some of their top field burnt. So the rest is still up. We're going to go play there, show them our support, help them rebuild the top.
Heck yeah, man.
I mean, it didn't even sound like the top field was totally devastated. It just seemed like some of it burned.
Yeah, a lot of it was on fire. But for anyone playing in SoCal, do not use smoke grenades. Very, very high fire warning. And actually playing in Super Game, I was telling Dan, I was in the DMZ and a smoke grenade landed by my feet and lit the ground on fire. And I was
DMZ, like in South Korea?
Yeah, that's what they call it. The DMZ, it's like the center.
Yeah, it's like the area with the castle and
it just lit it on fire. So
down.
I'm not sure if I really support smoke grenades being used unless it's like.
Why would you use smoke grenades?
Well, supposedly
they're super usable or useful.
Yeah, supposedly there's like a cold burning and a warm burning version, but I'm not really sure what the difference is.
One's
I
cold
actually
and one's
read
warm.
about that. And I just heard they're all warm burning.
Really?
Yeah.
Claim it's cold, but it's.
So the Enola Gay ones are also warm.
I think the Enola Gays are warm. Also. Yeah, if anybody knows of a cold burning smoke grenade that maybe we can use, that would be cool. Cannot use flashbangs. Dan, where are you at on the Spew 7 vid?
I've been going through to edit all the smaller interviews, and it's the same with the UWL footage. I'm going through and I have to finish all the small interviews so then I can take portions of those once they're edited and put them in the final video. And
estimate like 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. So it's been 7 months, and the UWL one is mostly all the segments are edited, but I haven't put them all together yet. So probably another couple months on that. But that one should be a 30-minute video, and the Spew one will probably be a 30-minute video also. So cool. Spew one is going to be next March, and the UWL one is going to be December.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to need one for Guerneville, which is coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want to tell anybody about that?
So we have our game in Guerneville, which is Bocce Mountain 2017, and that's going to be August 11th through the 13th. So if you want to play that, you can message me on Facebook or email me or whatever. We have a post on MCB about it, and I have a post on Facebook about it.
Bring your own paint, bring your own camping gear, all that stuff.
Andre is working on arranging paint, but I kind of don't even want to sell paint there.
We can have Troy, or I can get paint from Troy on the way maybe.
Well, we'll see what Andre what happens with this.
So should I tell them what I'm so basically
because we want to hear some opinions on
that would be actually great if you guys can help out. So I contacted a few paintball companies, and I wanted to do a custom paintball box or a box, collector's box, and I wanted to make sure the color was the color for BacciPaintball, which is green. So
it's actually what is it? B3.
It's actually
or B.
B3.
Yeah.
It's a gray, but they
Gray
wouldn't
green.
that would be too much money to do custom color. So they actually most companies make a green. And I contacted a bunch of companies. I'm not going to name names, but some of them were harder to deal with than others. Some minimum orders were really not built for, like, small things like we're doing.
Minimum orders are you talking? 100 cases probably?
Oh, 100. No.
No?
Like 180 pallets.
No,
dude,
no way.
Dude, there's some
That's
that
a
are.
lot of paint.
Some of them get, and you have to
There's
hit
no
their.
way
and you
180 pallets.
You have to hit your minimum a year,
Yeah,
or they
it's a year.
cancel your account. Yeah, no, it's a year.
This is if
But
you wanna
180 pallets a year?
So
You
I
know how
asked
much
them.
paint that is?
What was it? 180 or 80 pallets? It was
gotta
something.
take this off.
It was something insanely
So
large.
a pallet is like 100
Cases.
It's over 100 cases. It's like 112, isn't it?
No, I thought a pallet was 100 because at the
Okay,
company, yeah,
so
it's
100 cases.
Yeah.
So they want you.
100?
Let's just say if it is 80 pallets, you're talking. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot.
So
of
basically,
this is
I
like
asked
for
them.
big fields.
This is for
the
So I
normal
asked them. I was
big
like, "Who
fields.
does that?" And they're like, basically big fields. And I told them I was calling from SoCal, so they said some names of people that are having private label stuff made for their
yeah,
shops.
I would
and
assume Hollywood Sports is getting it done.
that is one of them. So obviously from one of the companies I talked to. So anyway, all in all, I ended up calling a bunch of paintball companies, and then I thought to myself, wait a second. I was like, didn't Nelson invent the paintball? So I called them up. And it is, dude, we need to support Nelson, by the way. These guys are awesome. They're still in business. They invented the paintball. Like, how are they not the biggest
get him
brand?
back on the scene.
How are they not
Pop
the
your bill
biggest
down,
brand
Paul.
in this whole entire thing? Like, oh yeah, boom, Paul's Nelson Paint. 50 years of service. You can't say that about anyone.
And that's probably from
Blank
mid-90s.
Paintball Incorporated.
I think I looked it up last week, and it was like, I think they were established in the 40s.
30s, late 30s. They were,
30s?
I know.
Yeah.
I read about it because I was so intrigued by it. A lot of
So
information
you're
is actually
saying
on
that
BacciPaintball.com.
hat is from the late 80s?
No, that hat's probably from the 80s to promote like a 50-year anniversary for the
Yeah.
company. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, man, the brand was. If you guys ever want to read a really cool history, you can go to BacciPaintball.com or you can go to Nelson.
Just think about the original paint marker was a Nelson 707.
Yep, I mean it's pretty badass. So I talked to them. Everyone there is super nice. They're so nice. They're so wanting to. They love the idea that we all play with vintage paintball. Pumps, stock class stuff. They absolutely love it. And I would definitely say that they're not as high tech. Yeah, they're not as high tech as some of the other
small
brands.
operation now.
And yeah, they're much smaller operation. They were super happy to work with us.
Did
They're
you get
sending
any
us.
costs from them?
I did get costs from them.
Were they
so we're
competitive?
gonna ridiculously competitive. They basically want to do work. They want to work with us. So
You've seen.
yes.
All right.
They're sending us a sample box of Nelson Precision. I picked the Precision because it's below $50 for a box. We're gonna be able to get it to you. They charge $46. We're gonna try to get it to you for lower than that. So the incentive is for anybody going up to Bocce Mountain 2017, August 11th
To 13.
through the 13th. So if anyone who's going, don't bring your paint. Don't travel with paint. It's a pain in the ass. It's big. If you got 2 or 3 guys in your car
We
and you're
got paint for
carpooling,
ya.
dude, that's like 6 boxes of paint. Like, don't waste it. We're trying to get 50 boxes total. But our goal is to pre-sell as much as we can before Bocce Mountain. This thing is awesome.
Cool.
So we're trying to pre-sell it. I think we're going to do like maybe $10 or $15 off a box. We're just trying to make sure that basically we have to pay for shipping and everything like that. And it's basically we're just trying to not make $1 on it and give you guys exactly what we paid for it. But they're giving us a great startup price and everything. But we have to at least order 50 in order for us to get the deal that we need to get.
No problem
And
there.
then we'll bring the paint up. So here's the deal. We can't sell any paint on the field, even though I know we're probably gonna, because some people are gonna run out of paint. And we're just gonna do it through me, because I'm most likely gonna be there. So we're gonna do it through me, but nothing goes through Dan or anything. It's all gonna go through, you basically email us through BacciPaintball or let us know through YouTube
or
or Facebook
or anything.
and just let us know how many cases you want.
And we'll get the
we'll basically you
the
prepay
total
for it.
costs.
Yeah, we'll prepay for it here. We'll just bring it up to you. So we just basically don't want any like transactions on the field. We just want to play. We want to have fun. We don't want to deal with any stuff up there. So
Cool.
Nelson, precision, awesome. Green.
Now to interrupt, Charles Evans was pretty funny. We were talking about the smoke grenades and the hot smoke, cold smoke. He said, dry smoke, get like 5 guys that vape in the cars. It looks like a steam train. Yep. So we're just going to have like 10 dudes on the field, all with vapes, and they're going to smoke the entire field at Super Game next year. We're doing it. Yeah. And okay, so
Benji's not lying.
Epoxity asked, he has a WGP Trilogy pump. What parts should you buy? Now, we've had a similar question in the past asking about trilogies. I am by the opinion that you should not put any money into a trilogy and you should sell it and get a different gun.
But I like the trilogy. I think it's a super cheap sniper that
I think you can get normal snipers for super cheap.
you
also.
can get normal snipers for super cheap, but a trilogy is even cheaper, and you can get a slice kit for it. And I mean, we should just have like a contest to see like which one of us can build like
Who can make the nicer crappy cocker?
no, who can build the cheapest working trilogy. And you have to like buy like a used trilogy off eBay. Has to be like legit.
$20 will get you a working trilogy.
Oh yeah, there you go, $20. And then I don't know how much Gene sells slice kits for, but I would definitely get a slice kit on my.
Doesn't he
trilogy.
make a super mini one now? Does he make a tiny slice kit now?
Well, you like super mini.
oh.
I like super.
So no,
big.
I gotta say, even
Extended
though
slice is I think what Gene calls it.
even though I hate on the trilogy so much, I do have a couple buddies who main gun is the trilogy and they kick ass with it. So really, you know, if you spend a decent amount of time behind any gun, you're gonna
You
kick
should get
ass.
a trilogy, Andre.
I suck anyway.
No, not that you suck, but you like.
The Empire. So he's asking
Yeah.
about the Empire Sniper now. The Empire Sniper is a very good kind of entry mid-level pump setup, but I gotta say the pump handles tend to get warped and don't end up pumping that easily after time.
So the Delrin on them expands, and then on the pump rod.
Yeah, it
like,
just
binds,
locks up.
basically.
It binds.
But the other day we were at Jungle. This was on I think the 1st of July, and Daniel, one of the guys there, he brought up a Empire Sniper to me. He's like, "Hey man, can you like fix this? Can you tell me what's wrong with it?" And so he had lost his BB out of the bolt.
What?
Yeah, so like the way that the bolt is set up, you have a bolt, and then you have a pin that's in the bolt, and sandwiched in between the pin is a spring and a BB. So, I mean, that one's not going to have it. It's not set up the same way because the Empire Sniper is a half block. So basically, it's the same way as like a Timmy, right? So he had lost the BB, but he still had the spring. So I was like, oh man, I don't have any BBs here. And then I looked at the ground, and there were airsoft BBs everywhere. So I just grabbed one, stuck it in.
No, are you serious?
Put the pin back in, and he's
Everyone's
like,
like, we are not worthy.
everybody's like, or it was really just him and I were standing there, and I think Danny Gordado, and we were just like, whoa. And he put it back in his gun, and he was good. So if you are shooting your Empire Sniper and you lose the BB out of the bolt, then
Just grab any
airsoft
BB, airsoft BB.
Yeah, airsoft BB. There you go.
Go to the front desk, tell them you need one BB,
No, just look on the ground.
or look on the ground.
Yeah, because they're pretty much everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now he's asking about the Phantom versus the Sniper.
Well, wait. Back on the trilogy.
Yeah.
Let's see. The parts that I would put on a trilogy: slice kit, a Delrin bolt. I don't think they came with Delrin bolts. I think they came with aluminum bolts. So I would get a Delrin
like
bolt.
Steel bolt.
I would get it.
even.
No, it's not steel. It's got to be.
It's got the heavier bolt.
It's got to be just aluminum. And
Okay.
then, you know, all your lower tube parts can be upgraded, but they should be fine to start off. But I would get a better reg. I don't even know if they came with
I would get a
regs.
different trigger frame, even though that trigger frame is better.
Mm-hmm.
So the trilogies come with like a single trigger hinge frame,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not like a die single trigger hinge frame. It's kind of crappy and it's heavy. So I would upgrade that to maybe
Yeah.
a slider frame or a hinge.
After you get your parts to make the gun working, that would be probably the first like performance upgrade
Right.
that I would make, is a better like hinge or
Barrel kit and frame.
You could get a CCM frame and put it on there, you know, and then a barrel kit. Yeah, you'll get a barrel kit, the frame, you'll get the reg. So yeah, all those pieces, and then like Benji said, you're back at like the cost of a, you know, normal autococker. But
Right.
starting off, you know, if you get a super cheap trilogy, really all you need is that pump kit
Right.
and a reg.
So I mean, Yes, I hate on the trilogies, but if you're going for the cheapest pump you can have that is still going to shoot straight, go for it.
So let's see what
I got an asking question, ag versus VSB. Well, all I got to say is you got to ask, is VSB ag or not? So, ag.
That's true. Is VSB ag? That's a good way to put it.
VSB is ag 2.0, but ag is still alive.
Okay, so we got upcoming games now. Was there anything else you want to...
No, let's go upcoming games.
Okay, so we got upcoming games. We got the Iron City Classic, which is July 29th to July 30th, and that is the Mound Field,
right?
Which is in Pennsylvania, and
that's the original Mound Field, right?
It's going to be just like, I think, 96 MPPPL. Is that what it is?
I believe so. And for anybody who's actually looking to play that, you're going to be playing against some cool old school teams that have kind of gotten back together for the event. Like, I know Image is going to be there with almost their whole 96 roster. So it should be pretty cool.
Are you serious?
Yep.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah, I know, because Rob, who's the captain on Black Sunday, he's like one of the main Image dudes from back then, and I hear them talking about playing with all their old homies. I know Chris Cole's playing there, and a bunch of the old school guys are coming out for it.
That's so cool, man.
Wish I could be there, but next time.
So, and then Jerk was saying he was going. And
who's he playing with?
I don't know. Remember, he was talking to us. I'm not sure who he's playing with, though. But
I don't know. I bet you the shot guys will have their own team over there.
Probably. Yeah, maybe that's who he said he was playing with. I seem to recall that. But yeah, that's coming up, and we're going to link in the... I guess we could put it in right here. Oh, no, it's going to be on this computer. I'll throw it in the video in the comments in just a minute for the video from the, 96 MPPL. Might be 95. Where you can actually see the action on that mound field.
Right.
Other upcoming games, as Benji mentioned, we have the Fields of Fire game coming up soon, and that's going to be on the 29th with SoCal Stock. So if you're in Southern California, you have a pump, and I think it's a 12 grams.
It's a 12 gram game.
So you got to have some gun that actually works well on 12 grams.
If you don't have a pump or if you don't have 12 grams, feel free to message us. I've got extra stuff, so does Dan.
I have a couple. They're usually broken. Sonny makes fun of me about it. But I give them to Andre, and he manages to use them.
It's like the hot rod of guns, man. Like, there's hot rodding in cars, there's hot rodding in planes. Hot rods and markers, man. They work, they run, and when you get someone out with a hot rod, they feel stupid.
And when you got your, here's your 12 gram gun right here, Andre. Pop your grip open.
I'm going to shoot someone with a 707 during that game.
Why don't you use your...
Oh, that's what that was? I was like...
You have your your battle pump.
I do?
PMI 1, and you also have a nail spot. Did you sold the nail spot? Yeah.
Sold the nail spot to Bob DeLeon.
Yeah, so for these, the nail spot 007s, I love these. It needs a couple upgrades, though. Here, hand it to me. Oh, here, let's put on the GoPro.
Yeah, traditionally on these nail spots, you want a good speed gate adapter.
That's how you change your 12 gram.
Let's see if we're good.
Bananas.
Here, go on the GoPro. Oh, we gotta turn the GoPro on first.
And then this is how you actually engage it.
Here, Andre.
Charles got a message, Bocce, about that cup seal.
Yeah. Tell him that he has to keep on me, otherwise I'm not gonna remember.
Just keep pestering Bocce like a bug in his ear.
Let's see.
Kevin Foote asked if you guys can comment on the Sheridan equalizer.
The Sheridan equalizer. That's a good thing for us to comment on. I'm going to just unplug this and plug it back in. This isn't giving us any issues.
I've had one, but never used one in game.
This is awesome, man.
There we go, there we go.
Are we good?
Yeah. So you just slide it back in.
There we go. Andre, check that out. Okay,
so that's showing off the null spot in
Sheridan equalizer.
CO2.
Oh yeah.
You can talk about that.
Okay, so before we get to Kevin's question, a couple things about... Is my head cut off? Or are we good?
You're good.
Okay, so a couple things about the null spot is, I usually will switch out the in-grip valve for a back bottle, and I'll put either a Rat Attack or a CCI 12 gram changer on the back bottle. I'll make sure that I have a pump handle on there. I'll change out the bolt for either a Lapco or a CCI Phantom bolt. And if you're going to use the CCI Phantom bolt, you have to change out the sear. And you'll obviously want to use whatever hammer fits. CCI bolt will use a CCI hammer. A Lapco bolt will use a Lapco hammer. And then you'll also use some kind of larger inner diameter power tube. Some of the, like if you're going to use Phantom bolt and hammers, you'll use a modern Phantom power tube, which will have a 0.188 inner diameter, which will give you a very decent velocity just off the bat. And that's pretty much all the upgrades that you want to do. You know, you want to keep your barrel actually cleaned out and not filled with rust. How's the bore on this one, Andre?
Yeah, a lot of them can get rust in there.
Doesn't look great.
Are you looking at the feed tube or the barrel?
This one.
Okay, yeah. Probably not great, but you can hone it out a little bit and hopefully shoot some Nelson paint. And then on to the Sheridan equalizer. I have shot a couple. They are not my favorites, but there's kind of like a long line of I guess they're like dump valve. Maybe they're even called spool valve. You guys will have to correct me on the terminology, but there's like a long kind of lineage of guns that lead up to the equalizer. It starts off with the Phoenix, which was made by Eric Scott of Southern Pneumatics, and he was also selling the Southern Pneumatics regulator, which was also marketed by David Kermode of KC Kermode Concepts. And so Eric Scott made the Phoenix, and then the Phoenix didn't really sell well, and it had a lot of problems, especially on CO2. The regs would overpressurize, and then you'd be shooting at a super hot velocity. So some fields even banned the Phoenix. And then Marcus Neely kind of partnered with Paintball Heaven, which was Eric Scott's son-in-law, Rob Fox, at Paintball Heaven. And Marcus Neely partnered with him, and they made the Falcon, which was kind of an updated mix between a Montanil Z1. It had like the same bolt style as a Montanil Z1, but with a dump valve from the Phoenix and the regulator from the Phoenix. And then Eric Scott sued them and shut them down, and then Eric Scott sold his design to the people at Sheridan, and that's how the equalizer was made. And then eventually Joe Dillon, is that his name, at CMI, he basically made another version of the equalizer, which is called the LS 2000, the Lightning Strike 2000, I think is what that was called. And he had a couple versions of that, but he did not make very many of those. And you want to show that one off under there? Otherwise we'll pull the GoPro.
Sure.
So my thoughts on the equalizer, though, is that it's a very well-made paint gun, but unfortunately the seal, the transfer seal that's sandwiched in between the grip frame, or the switch in the grip frame and the body, is just prone to deterioration because it's the same material as the VM68. The VM68's feed fingers. So just like the feed fingers will deteriorate, the seal in the Sheridan equalizer will. And when the seal goes down, or when the feed fingers go down in your VM68, you're like, you know, I don't even need a detent because it's basically just going to blow all my balls up anyway. But when the seal goes down in your equalizer, you just have like a big old hissing mess. And some people have stamped that seal out of various materials, which is always something that I've wanted to do. I actually have a carterized equalizer that I've wanted to get working. And for that one, I want to stamp a seal, but I just haven't had time to do that. So, Kevin, if you're actually watching this, remind me. I'll send you a picture of the carterized one, because you'll probably think that's pretty cool. Everybody else will be like, I don't even know what the Sheridan equalizer is. But Andre's a big fan of it.
I love the Sheridan equalizer. He talked me out of buying one. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, should I buy this? I like it.
He's like, it takes.
Funny, those Sheridan guns. The first gun I was actually gonna buy was between a Spider E99 and a Sheridan XTS.
So the XTS is like an inline blowback.
But it looked cool. I was like, I want that gun.
It looks kind of cool, and they actually had cool splash anodizing on those.
That's another reason why I wanted it.
I've never actually handled one of those, so I can't really critique them in any way. But I do like the Jackal, which is the double action Sheridan, which with the break breech. I always thought that was kind of cool, and it actually came with that really cool hopper, which was only sold with that gun. I don't even think any other Sheridans had it, so I just thought, like, they're actually ballsy enough to like make this small little ammo box type loader to sell with this gun. That's pretty neat. But yeah, and then another thing about the equalizer, the reason Andre wanted one is because it takes Sheridan or PMI 3 Sheridan, you know, Sheridan VM68 or PMI 3 barrels. So Andre's like, I have a whole bunch of VM68 barrels. I want to get the equalizer. It's like the next step up. And I
First
was
of all,
like,
why do you have a ton of VM68 barrels?
Because he's always been rocking a VM68. That's pretty nice. So, one gun that Benji just had over there was the Tracer. And this is actually a pretty neat Tracer. It has some really neat modifications to us. What can you tell us about it, Benji?
So it has an in-grip CO2. It has a stock class feed mounted on. What else? It's got a steel braid line going into the grip also.
Makes use of the fastest 12-gram bucket changer in the world.
Yup.
Almost sealed. There we go.
What else?
There's the feed.
And it actually does work. It's a super kind of crappy looking home brew, but you know, it's so compact and so light.
The one thing that drives me crazy about this is that they cut the body right here for the safety. Like,
oh yeah, and it just turns down and stops you from pumping.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't cut that. Like, you made a cool gun. Like,
I know, and then you start pumping and it's like, oh, why is it locked up?
Action!
Oh no!
Ah! So you can see what we're talking about right here. Let's see if we can. It's actually kind of cool that our.
And yes, airsofters are the equivalent to scooter kids at the skate park.
Hey, I don't know about you guys, but
scooter kids are cool though.
I'm a big fan of Razor Scooter Pro 2000. Is that the name of it, Connor? If Connor's still watching, I'm sure he can comment on that.
Razor Scooter action!
All right, let's see what other games we got. We got Bocce Mountain, which we talked about a little bit. Andre, I thought you had to leave at 8:30.
He likes us too much.
So everyone will get in trouble in about 5 minutes. Why did they do this?
Yeah.
Okay, so
well, because we don't have that much time, let's talk about Jeff's hopper because that's super cool.
Oh yeah,
Jeff's hopper's
and that's something I'm proud of just knowing of. All right, so this right here, this is something that is very cool, and this is a product of our SoCal stock community, namely Jeff Wakefield. This is a custom 3D printed hopper that he's been developing. This is a early generation, so this doesn't really look too much like what the final.
Your trade positions with him,
I
so
don't
we
think
can
he's
talk about
finished
it.
with it yet, but this is already 6 or 7 versions back.
Here, go sit and talk so you're in the screen.
So that hopper is already maybe 5 or 6 versions back, but it can show you what he's trying to get at. It's a mini hopper, holds about 40 rounds, and it has a little speed feed for a 10-round tube at the top. In his more current models, he's actually got a lid that he's building a 10-round speed feed into, which is super cool. Yeah, I just thought it was pretty awesome. He's been kind of fiddling with it on his own at home, and you know, all of us were like, dude, we want one, we want one. So he's been gracious enough to keep working on it to get something that, you know, who knows, you might see in stores someday.
He's a really rad dude, by the way. He's awesome.
Jeff.
If you're watching, Jeff, thank you so much for all the information you've supplied me with. I'm also working on another project for BacciPaintball.com. I won't let you guys know about it because I don't want to get excited.
I don't have it here. I think it's in my car.
But it's one of those things where I don't really want to think about doing crowdsourcing, but it might have to happen. So I apologize in advance for any kind of Kickstarter or GoFundMe thing that might happen.
You don't need to deal with that.
Cool and awesome.
Andre, I'll get you your funding.
So a couple things with Jeff's loader when we look at it.
By the way, one sec down. Kevin said that Doc made some seals for the equalizer and that it's been good for a year. So you were saying some of them are kind of crummy?
Yeah, I mean the stock ones that were made out of the feed finger material are crummy.
Cool.
I can't judge any other ones.
He says he got a freak barrel on it too. Cool.
That's what Kevin said?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, I think I saw
you gotta send us a picture of your setup, Kevin.
I think Kevin's done a couple videos, or one specifically that I've seen of him shooting it at that tree in those videos. I'll have to link that in the comments also, or in the description if I remember. So a couple other things about Jeff's loader are, I'm going to turn the GoPro off.
Has my head been invisible this whole time?
No.
Yeah, it has been. Look at that. That's amazing.
No, sometimes you're...
No, it's because the picture-in-picture's above it.
It's in front of it, but sometimes it's behind it. I think Paul's been kind of changing it around. So...
Oh, you can see it.
Okay, so with this loader, a couple other things about it. He kind of maybe modeled it to start with off the ammo box, and that's why he has a smaller outer diameter ammo box size feed for it, for the feed
Yeah, I
neck.
already mentioned that it's got to be thickened up, so.
Yeah. And another thing is, when I saw this, I was like, oh, it looks kind of like a combination between the Ricochet and the old Zap loaders. And the Zap loaders were kind of the Brass Eagle version. Well, Brass Eagle made some in the same profile eventually later on.
Of an ammo box.
Yeah, but the Zap ones were the earlier ones, and Zap would actually sell. Zap was Aldo Perone's paintball company, and they would sell their paintballs, I think, at one point inside those loaders. So, I don't know, pretty cool. Although on those, I think the feed was in front. But, yeah, pretty neat. Did you get shot in your... Did you use that one?
I used that one. I did get shot and didn't break it.
Nice. Yeah, Jeff's been shooting them from like 5 feet away, too.
Yeah.
So, another
That's pretty...
thing...
That's pretty
He's
sick.
trying
to look
different
at-
materials to really get the right one. But I think once he's finished, going to try to have it molded.
So, actually, I'm gonna...
If he's down, we already kind of been talking about it. But it's a pretty badass hopper.
So, see if the GoPro is...
And it's perfect for our 10-round games. Look at that. You can't even fill it without a 10-round.
If it starts up again, yeah. Go ahead and
See, the
turn it
nice
on.
thing is he's building this already in SolidWorks or in a rendering program, so he's gonna have a lot easier time making the mold for it. Which, thank you, Jeff, for helping me figure that out.
Let me see that.
You're
Okay,
amazing.
So, I did, Andre, will you take this and just pull this back piece out and kind of look through the breach and stuff? So, I did a video, an article that I put up last week on the Alien A1 Revelation, which is the gun that Andre is demoing in the top corner. And one thing that Griffin Spanner mentioned is that the actual profile on that back plug piece, so show that back plug piece off, and you can see that there's a bottom portion that's open on it. So right now you're looking at the base of it, and you can see that there's that cutout. And one thing that Griffin mentioned is that that cutout is actually, so rotate it, so like right there would be like, it needs to twist like 90 degrees. There we go. So that's how it actually is in the gun. That you're looking at the top side now. So the air comes out and it hits the bottom side and it actually sweeps it up, and that's where the actual
For
air
every shot?
Well, no, it doesn't move. It's static, but okay, let me see this. It's probably easier for me to explain this if I actually have it. Okay, so right here we can see. Okay, so
Yeah, if you
so-
just look at
so
this
awkward.
thing. Look at this.
Okay,
thing. I'm
so
big.
what we have here is, here's the plug. I think you put it in like this, and then you can twist it. I don't know how to put it in. But basically, this is how it sits in the gun, like this. So your air will actually come up and hit this little cutout here and go out. This is static inside. It always sits like this.
Got it.
But basically, that is the premise for the sweep design that Jack Rice uses in his other guns. And so that was just kind of a neat little piece of information that I hadn't realized before that Griffin pointed out.
Cool. Did you want to talk about the mini gun?
Yes.
Before we pass it, it's right there. So, we wanted to talk a little bit about that new lawsuit happening between Valken and GI. Now, the base of the lawsuit is that you have GI suing Valken for basically copying. They insinuate they copied their design off the Mini for the Valken Proton. Now, if anyone's seen the Valken Proton, you can't deny it. It looks very, very much like the Mini. But Dan was telling me that the Mini itself actually was based off this one originally, so...
Yeah, I think that Key actually bought this design, and this was the JBS King Cobra, and this is the Rap 4 version, which I think they just lasered with
Black
Rap 4
Thunder.
Black Thunder. You know, they probably bought these like extra ones from whoever was retailing them after JBS was bought out. You can even see right here on the grips. Is the GoPro still on, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can even see on the grips here that it says JBS right here. So this is nothing other than a JBS King Cobra that's just been lasered for Rap 4. And when we look at the bolt, I'm not super knowledgeable about the Mini and the Axe and what are the other ones?
Well, the Valken ones, the Proton.
Yeah, I'm not super knowledgeable about those, but supposedly it's like the same internal bolt system. And I have a couple videos
Yeah.
on YouTube showing this off a little bit clearer, but you can see here's your...
Well, the big issue between the Mini and the Proton is not the bolt system, it's the outside. It's crazy how similar they look. You can layer them gun on gun and it's almost exactly the same. So I can see that they're gonna kind of hand Valken's ass to them in this case, which I heard they did in the Marbleizer suits too. So I'm not sure what Valken's endgame is. I don't... Maybe to make as much money before they get fined.
But
or
isn't
stopped?
Valken is Valken part of GI Sports?
No.
Empire is part of GI Sports.
Empire is part of GI.
Okay,
yes.
got
So
it.
Valken competes.
Okay, got it. With GI.
Right. So they're constantly head to head. Now GI has bought up, you know, most of the bigger companies, so they own a lot of the patents and stuff. But Valken is big money, so they can afford to fight these cases if they'd like.
So I want to know which paintball gun Connor was asking about being a vape.
What?
Oh, if you're is Paul on QC Paul's face? Because Paul's definitely vaping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connor's just trolling.
Oh, he's just trolling you. Man, what a jerk. That Jorge guy is just...
Our crackhead superheroes.
I mean, they can be. And I don't know if that's not really paintball related enough. I mean, how would we break that down in a paintball related way?
Do we know any superhero paintballers or crackheads?
I mean, you.
I'm a superhero.
And a crackhead. And a
I have
That's
a
all
crack.
three. That's the trifecta right there.
I ain't no crackhead.
I'm probably still wearing his
Straight meth.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Straight mess.
Straight back.
My
Would
girlfriend's gonna
make-
kill me if I don't head out now. I love you guys.
Straight meth, I think, would make
Later.
you a crack.
Dude, hold on.
Oh,
Man,
man.
down.
Samsung down.
Down. I just hit the alpha.
Thank you, sir.
Later.
Open my legs for you there.
Oh man.
Adios, the cool part of our crew.
No.
UFC fighter.
Noob. Now you guys can start talking about cooler stuff.
The seasoned vet.
I hope your car didn't get raided by homeless people.
Oh no. And remember, everyone, let us know if you want paint for Bocce.
Hey, Andre, if you want, on the corner, there's a lady selling a karaoke machine.
She's still there?
She's still there. She's got a pit bull, too.
Not for sale, though.
Not for
probably.
sale.
Guarding the karaoke.
Unless you have another karaoke machine, because she would trade the pit bull for another karaoke machine.
I have neither, or want neither. But if you're going to Bocce Mountain 2017 Summer Edition, let us know if you want paint, because we need to know who wants paint. Nelson
It's supposed to be
Precision.
the NorCal
It'll be
guys are
green.
bringing their own paint, aren't they?
NorCal guys, dude, don't bring your own paint. Don't be dicks. Support.
Feel paint only at Bocce
Support-
Mountain.
Support BocceMountain.com. Seriously, if you're driving a block, why put a box of paint in your car?
It is free
It'll be
entry.
there for you. Yeah, it'll be there for you at Bocce Mountain 2017.
And all your smoke grenades will be there, too.
No smoke grenades.
And Paul will bring the vapes.
Vapes and vape juice for all your
Vapes.
vaping needs.
What about Vape Junior? Oh no,
That's Connor's.
Connor is Vape Junior.
If I smoked a vape, I'd be a vape Jew.
Vape Jew.
To me, that's
See ya,
vape juice.
See ya. You guys are awesome. Bye, everyone.
Hey, have a good night.
Later.
Okay, so let's continue.
What
down
else? What else do we have
checklist here.
to talk about?
We have we already talked about that. So, let's see. Let me grab a
Falcon
USB.
Code. Sorry, Kevin had me right. The Proton is the one that's a bit different. Falcon Code is the one that's exactly
Don't
like.
mix them up. Don't
That's
mix
my
them
bad.
up.
But, like he mentioned here, the Proton looks like a different gun. The Aura.
Aura,
Yeah.
which is what the Mocal.
Mocal.
Mocal. The maker of the
So Kevin says here the
Mirage.
Code is a spool and the Mini is a poppet, which, I mean, definitely differentiates them, but you can't stick it in the gun that's the same body virtually. Like, really, all they had to do was make a different bodied gun and they wouldn't be in hot water, except they put a different bolt system in a gun that's, like, exactly the same. It's stupid. It's silly.
Still good on battery there. Okay, this is gonna be kind of confusing, but Benji, you can keep us occupied.
Yeah,
for a minute.
So Charles is saying here, and I know I've heard this sentiment a lot, that it's companies like GI that are
Put
killing the
pictures that we
sport.
saved on that computer.
I don't know if I agree with that fully, because a lot of the companies that they bought out were already faltering companies. And when they bought out a lot of those companies, you know, we were in kind of a recession. And, you know, true, a lot of the gear that they've put out under the badge of those new companies hasn't stood up to the same quality as it has in year past. But I don't know that they're killing the sport. You have them putting huge money into the NXL, into advertising, into really different facets. You have them starting the Brigade program, which is trying to get people into woods ball. So they're putting a lot of money into the sport. You can't really complain about them for that. I mean, they're a business, so just like Smart Parts did back in the day, kind of, you know, take everybody out and you're the last man standing. So kind of sucks, but they're in it to make money. They're not in it to make friends, I guess. It's not like it used to be back in the day where everyone was sharing their... I mean, they wouldn't even patent stuff back in the day. They would just share it and make guns, and it's just not like it anymore.
Want some water?
Sure. Thank you. I think it was Smart Parts who screwed it all up initially, because they are the one that slapped. They're the ones that first started slapping patents on things they shouldn't have. And yeah, I really, you know, a lot of people think that GI's killing it, but I really think that they're solid, even though I think that their paint has just been so downhill lately. Let's see, what can I show off next? Okay.
What's our usage at here? 14%. We should be able to run bridge. Alright, so the way I was going to try to do this is we are in bridge.
Here's another cool hat you guys can check out. This is from the original survival game.
I think. Thought.
Seth, taking it too far.
There we go. So then you can just cycle through.
Oh, this is the gun that's sold.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll pan it. And then we'll do window capture.
I don't know if Dan showed you guys, but this one still has the original receipt on it, or the original price, $469.99 for your Rat 4 Black Thunder. There you go. Okay, who's next?
Okay, now we have bridge behind us.
What are you putting on, Dan?
We are just
video?
looking at those pictures of the guns that we're going to talk about.
So, I think we should talk a little bit about some of the SoCal tournaments series and fields that have been kind of starting up over here. Have you guys played Red Zone? AFPL?
The last time I played paintball was
Red Zone.
probably last year.
Oh my lord, Paul.
You played this year.
You played with us.
Yeah.
So I like Red Zone because you're just going for that center flag all the time. It just seems super intense, although I haven't played an event yet of it. But I'm also really excited just to go to CPP because I've heard that they're building up the fields up top. Yeah, Kevin, I feel you on that JT sentiment. JT, you know, at least when we were growing up, that was the best mask, the best pants. You wanted to have JT gear, and now it's just not the same.
So what else do we got? What's some of the other talk?
The Impulse was definitely a misstep. We were just talking a bit more about JT.
So the new Impulse. So tell me a little bit about the new Impulse.
The new Impulse was made in 2009. It was a Poppet style marker, kind of. Yeah. It was meant to be kind of like an Ego, and it had solenoid issues. It had it had various issues, and all I know is I ended up with 5 of them, all with leaking solenoids. So they didn't make them after 2009. They are still pretty much sought after. Still go for $350 or so.
They have like a very the hinge trigger in them reminds me of like a reflex, right?
The hinge on a JT
Well,
Impulse?
not hinge, but you know the swing.
Swoopy
the swoopy.
swing.
Doesn't it look like the reflex trigger? The cap reflex
like a
trigger.
Cap
it's like
reflex.
a very like.
Yeah.
But and they made them in 50 caliber also, didn't they?
Yeah, I still have one in 50 caliber, but there's just no one plays 50 caliber really, other than beginners.
Does that one leak?
Yes. Every single one I've ever had has leaked eventually. So that's probably the biggest issue that they have with them.
Do you know what the serial number is on it? It seems like they must not have made very many of them, right?
Yeah, they didn't make... What's up, Michael? They definitely did not make very many of them. I'd probably say under 1,000, but the majority of those being in parts are broken now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about are a couple guns that sold. So Benji, can you see what's behind us?
What do you mean?
When you look at the picture, can you see what's behind us?
Let me check. Well, it's going to be a bit behind, but let me wait.
15 seconds.
Let me know when I should be looking for it.
Just
So yeah, we're talking about some cool,
We're gonna-
rather expensive guns that have been playing late, that have
Selling.
sold lately.
Yeah, so we're not talking prices, but we're just talking particulars.
Okay, so we got the Westwood in the picture-in-picture.
Yeah, so we got the Westwood behind us, and this is a 2K.
Yeah, so this is the prototype Westwood.
This is a prototype 2K Westwood. So it's not prototype for the Westwood, it's prototype for
the
a
2K
newer
version.
run of 2K guns that I don't think were ever made. I think only a couple body styles were sold. So this one I think was sold by Rennick as a raw body. And then Chris Fosnach.
Oh,
Is that how you spell his last name? Fosnach? He actually built it up, he anodized it, had all the parts anodized with it, and he just sold that, but he built it up as a complete Westwood. And looking at his information, so the pictures that are behind us are from him, and we don't have his permission to use those, but hopefully they're obstructed enough by us standing in the way that it's not a big deal. I just, it's like a pretty remarkable looking gun. Just the fact that everyone, not necessarily everyone, but people really fall for those Westwoods. And this is actually a 2K version, so it has a larger internal air passage. It has a 2K front block, so that's pretty neat. Anything you want to add, Benji? And he also had it done in the kind of one of this almost signature BBT Shock Tech splashes, and that's a splash that
yeah, that splash is gorgeous.
old Westwoods had, I think maybe some SFLs, some of the prototype Danny Love bodies that were prior to the SFLs had. I know that Tim Furpo at Paintball.com had one with that same splash, so pretty.
I know there are a couple people who have multiple Westwoods now, which is pretty cool. I think Nick Sloviak still has a couple, right? I thought I saw him posting them up. Which one do you want to go on next? We got to talk about that Bumblebee.
So what do we got
That's
next,
nuts.
Paul? So we have a Bumblebee autococker, which is one of Billy Saransky's signature autocockers, and this is an SFL one, so it's probably one of the later ones that he used. But I'm sure you guys will correct me on that because I'm probably wrong. But this is one that has sold a couple times. It's not the one that sold on Paintball Nation, but
Right.
I think this is maybe the third Bumblebee, the third generation Bumblebee.
This one was the one that was raffled off.
Yeah, and then
which went for, I think it got $6,500 for the raffle, which was insane. So it was just put up for sale for the same $6,500, although we don't think it really got that because who's paying $6,500 for it?
But it's not really thinking about prices. It's a pretty significantly historic autococker, and it's very cool to see that those are actually showing up and people can see.
Yeah,
them.
it's like they all popped up in the same year or two.
Yeah, but that kind of signature lines in the back is pretty cool. Seeing that, the actual Bumblebee part, it's pretty neat. It's a cool looking gun, cool looking paintball gun.
Still crazy, $6,500.
Not for $6,500.
$6,500, I'll buy another car. All right, which one's after that?
Do we have any other ones?
Yeah, I thought there was one or two. Yeah, there's the Carter.
Oh yeah, Benji's Carter. So Benji had a remarkable find lately. Once again, we're hopefully not gonna talk about prices, but he found this Carter for a great deal, and it's not a great deal, but it was cool.
It was a good deal. I'm just happy that it was my first complete Carter, because I've had Carter bodies, I've had incomplete Carters or Frankenstein Carters, and this one is it's pretty much complete other than a mismatching trigger frame.
And I mean, you couldn't even really say it's not matching. It's one of the STO plastic 45 frames, but it's for that time,
for the time period.
Yeah, period accurate. And it also has a couple other neat accessories, like it has the bottom line stabilizer, and it has the Armson sight on it. So it's just an all-around cool gun. It even has the match anno shroud, and it has the
matching barrel still on it.
Matching barrel, matching bolt.
Matching bolt, yeah.
Matching tank. It's just badass.
Yeah. And the cool thing was the lady I got it off of, off of. She got it as a present for her kids from her old boyfriend like 10 years ago, and she just found it in the garage.
And so that was from like what area did you find that?
What area? That would have been towards SC Village.
Towards SC Village,
Yeah.
so like Inland
Valley
Empire.
of LA, Inland Empire.
Inland Empire.
And actually, I found a lot of nice Cockers and Sheridans there in the past.
Awesome.
It's got to be because of the, proximity to SC.
Definitely. So the year on the year that's stamped on that tank that came with that Carter, it was Mini Cocker, right?
Yeah.
So the year on the tank was...
The year on the tank was 95.
So probably 95, 96 is when that was actually originally anodized by Carter Machine.
Right.
So pretty cool. Pretty cool to actually see it all complete
Yeah.
like that. And it didn't even look like it had been used that much.
Yeah, it looks like, it got a couple scuffs in storage, but yeah, it looks pretty clean. Ryan Dupros is asking, how do you differentiate between the Carter and the Tasso bodies?
So that's the way that I don't necessarily differentiate, but there is some differentiating that needs to be done, because I think that at a certain point Tasso cut their own bodies, just like they cut their own rails and they cut their own grip frames, the humpback automag grip frames. Tasso actually did all of that themselves. That was not a Carter Machine cut on the rail and the grip frame. So I think that there probably were some bodies that Tasso actually cut, but the actual where we differentiate, to me, it's just you have to look at the parts. One thing that I thought might have been the way to differentiate would be if a gun doesn't have any raw cuts, then it would most likely be a Tasso gun, but that's not necessarily accurate, because Benji's gun doesn't have any raw cuts. It was all cut prior to being anodized, and when you look at the barrel, it has that standard 4.5 pattern. Let me see if I have a barrel here that has that.
Paul can put the picture of the barrel on the main screen.
I don't even think I have any.
Which one?
That's okay. I don't have any here. But
He figured it'd be a bit of a stumper for you.
yeah, I mean, it's just the thing is, I don't know if Tasso actually cut any of their own bodies or not. I just suspect that they do. So
We gotta find someone who worked at Tasso, see if we can get an answer.
John Pope, this is John's autococker right here that we were talking about earlier.
Right.
He was saying that he thought they did, but I don't think he actually knows. I think maybe Mark Pascal or even Glenn Forster might know. Because Glenn was on ads for Powerball with his Bushland camouflage. And it says I think it says Captain of GBD, and the autococker that he has, we could ask him, was that a gun that was specifically made by whoever was machining Tasso parts, or was that a gun that was cut by Carter? And
all right, so we'll have an
Carter
answer
Machine.
for you guys next week on that.
Yeah, we might. We'll see what Glenn remembers.
The cool thing about my setup is the tank still had air in it.
Yeah, nice. And it was still in hydro too.
Yeah, just a tad out.
But yeah, so it's a difficult question. There were also some guns that have ovals milled, and people might say that those are Tasso autocockers, but
That had which milled?
they have ovals milled in the lower tube,
Okay.
instead of the lines here.
Right.
But that's not really a indication either, because I think the ABC cockers had ovals cut in them, and those were obviously done by Carter Machine. And then also, I think there was like a Pro Paintball or something out of Texas that had ovals cut in them as well, and those were most likely by Carter Machine.
Okay,
So,
now, regarding the Carter Machine cockers, I know you told me that some of them have a little hole milled in under the breech. Why would some have it and some not?
So one of the things that Fernando Castillo did while he was working at Carter Machine is he worked on making a vent hole out of the base of the breech. So if we look at this autococker right here, it doesn't have a vent hole. Maybe next week, if I remember, I'll get one out that does. But some of them will have a vent hole that's cut. Essentially, if you were to look into the feed neck or go in there with a mill or a drill or whatever and cut straight through into the little slot here that your pump arm rides in, you would have a vent out of essentially right under your breech. And some of the Carter cockers had that, and he was the one, and I think Aaron also cut those, but Fernando and Aaron both cut those. John Coleman, who worked at Carter Machine, from I think 95 to 98 or late 97. There's an article about John on my website, but John said he didn't cut that. Actually, I can go grab one of those bodies right now. It'll just take me a minute, but that one doesn't have it, but I'll grab one in a minute that does. But that was something that Aaron and Fernando both cut, and that was kind of a signature Carter machine cut. So let me go grab that other body and you can just carry on with questions or something.
Cool. If anybody has any other questions or guns you want us to bring out for next time, just let us know now so we can bring it out. I'm going to bring out a couple automags that I haven't brought out before for next time, as well as a couple Sheridans. We definitely trying to get Paul to bring out some of his nice electros. You gonna bring out some shockers or something next time?
Oh yeah, I could bring my shockers.
He's got some of the sickest CCM shockers I've seen. All of them are CCM. Yeah. We'll take it a bit in the new school direction with Paul, even though that's still OG.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn the GoPro on.
Okay.
Wait to switch it until it's on.
So, who is it? Ryan was saying to check out Russ's purple Tasso sniper. Have you seen that one before?
Russ's purple Tasso sniper?
Tasso Carter sniper?
No.
Is that the same Russ? Is Russ C. Russell?
Oh no, he's talking about Russell Case, I
Whoop.
think.
My bad.
So here is John Coleman's
Oopsies.
Carter machine. Is this showing up okay, Paul?
Yes.
Okay, is it big enough that people can tell? Okay, so here is John Coleman's autococker that he did some of the cuts on while working at Carter Machine. And then Aaron actually set this up for the breech cut. And we can see right here the actual breech cut. So is that kind of clear, Paul? You can see all the way through. And so when we look in the feed, we can see here's the feed. I think I'm upside down. Okay, this is, I think, how I'm supposed to be. But we can see we have our detent hole right here, and then we have our breech hole right below it. So that's actually our breech vent hole. And that was a signature cut of Carter Machine during 94, 95, maybe 96 as well. We can also see a couple other cool features on this body. John Coleman rounded the front top of the body here, which is a pretty slick job he did. It's like, he said almost perfect, but I would say it's perfect. And then he did, you know, signature Carter cuts in the back, and he also did these kind of stepped lower tube cuts, which is pretty rad.
Let me check that out.
Yeah.
This thing is really nice.
The GoPro.
You know, I want us to get some John Grosscockers to talk about in here, because I think those are
Yeah,
so
they're pretty
nice.
rad. I don't think I even have any. I have auto mags.
I have that one pump John Gross.
Oh, you still have that?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you
I
gotta bring that.
might want that back.
Oh, sounds like a demand.
Maybe we can do some kind of trade, Paul.
Yeah, dude.
I know Quitman never liked shooting that one, but I freaking
No, he
loved
liked
it.
He said it's one of the smoothest like punks he had, but he just wanted my J6, which I got back.
You still have your J6?
Yeah.
So you have a
I don't think I'm ever selling that.
You have an S5 and a J6, and you won't even play pump with us.
And I have what is it? One of those Ripper, the newer Ripper.
Oh yeah, I've seen you play with that a couple times too.
Snap.
Just kidding, you will play pump with us.
And
Just kidding,
I
you
have
should.
a John Gross.
And you have a John
Jesus.
Gross. You
Paul's got the
are-
sickest collection.
Paul has the sickest collection. Okay, so we were going to show the first strike autococker video, but maybe
Yeah, we
save
could leave
that.
it for next time. We've
Yeah,
already done a
save it.
bunch of time.
Save that for next time.
I think
Let's see.
let's just leave them with the
I want to
jungle vid.
Yeah, I want to just go over some of these other videos also that
Okay.
I've been posting. So I've been posting the Glenn Palmer interview videos, and there's about one more with Glenn, and then what's up?
You're on my phone.
Oh, I moved it.
Yeah. Sorry.
There's a couple. There's one more video with Glenn where he talks about the AGS rifle, and then there are 2 or 3 videos with. There's a couple with Danny DeBone, and then there's also one with Craig Palmer. Craig talks about the RAM and switch system used on the Elite rifle, which would be mid 1989. Slightly before Glenn started production and selling his actual Hurricane rifles. And then Danny talks about supposedly it's either the second semi that Glenn made. Well, it is the first double barrel semi made, likely by anyone, but it's also possibly the second semi that Glenn made, and that one is Hugo, and Glenn actually mentions that in the last video that I put up of him, but the video with Danny actually goes over Hugo, and we're looking at it, you know, and talking about the features on it, and it is just like crazy looking. It's like a Frankenstein gun. It's nicely done, but it's crazy looking. So that'll be a video that's coming up.
Real quick before you jump on, someone was asking why the cut and the breech on the Carters.
So the cut and the breech on the Carter, I'm not the best person to explain that because I don't tune Carters in a way that's like super, or I don't tune cockers in a way that's super fine. I just get my cockers working and then I shoot them and then they break and then I just tune them again. But some people will they'll hold tissue over the feed neck and they'll shoot it and it's supposed to suction the balls in. And
what in the world?
Yeah, you hold like a tissue over your actual feed neck and it suctions the tissue in if you actually have set up your suction timing right. And that's one thing that Paul Schreck likes to do. And I think Tim Furpo also will maybe do that sometimes.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, it's something that people do. I am not that particular. As long as they're shooting, then I'll play with them. But the breech hole, the breech vent hole is another just, you know, it I guess can maybe vent air out. I don't know. I'm not the best person to explain it. Mark Pascal has a video that we put up a couple years ago where he talks about it. So if you're curious about it, who was it that asked that question?
Ryan Dupras. So
Ryan, if you're curious about it, you can message me and I'll send you that video, or you could search Mark. I think his last name is it's P-A. His last name is P-A-S-C-A.
I think it's C-U-A-L.
C-U-A-L. It's something like that.
Yeah.
But let's see. Okay.
You have one more quick question. Do you know where Eric Felix's cocker is?
No.
Nope.
I don't.
Sorry, Steve. Next.
Send a picture and maybe I'll have an idea. But otherwise, don't know. But I think Eric Felix, did he play on Sudden Death or did he play on Shockwave and then he played on the Iron Man? Or did he play on GBD and then the Iron Man? I know he was at the field that's owned by Camp Pendleton that just opened up, Alpine, is that it? He was down there, I think maybe he works there, and Sonny was talking to him recently. So if you're curious to talk to him, you might go down there and see if he's there. And then other videos that have gone up, the alien gun video, which is just like a quick overhead breakdown of the alien gun. And that's one that I put up.
Check out, because that is one kooky gun.
Yeah, this is a crazy gun, but imagine, you know, you got your barrel on here and then you have your loader on the back. And I wouldn't even know how to shoot this because the trigger's a little bit too long for me, but
let me see that thing.
I'll trade you.
Tim Furpo
said, I like that trigger.
Suction timing makes the gun so much more unreliable.
Unreliable.
Timing has to be done on a knife's edge, and they fall out of time much easier, and I think our GH4 is out of battery.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
We'll switch on the GoPro in the meantime, and let me grab you another battery for the GH4. I just saw one here. Hopefully I didn't like throw it anywhere.
No, I don't.
Here we go.
Charles is saying the vent prevents the popcorning when the balls pop up the breech, but I don't think that's this cut.
Oh, I can turn the GoPro off. Okay, well, we will hopefully get this resolved fast enough.
What do you think, Dan?
I think it actually is supposed to do that. I think that's part of it. What do you think is this battery going to have? This one's dead. We'll grab another one.
But if that was part of it, why does no modern cocker have it?
We just have to turn it on.
I figure if that worked, modern cockers would have it.
I don't think there's another
It's not in there. It's
Sorry guys, we're just getting a new battery for the GH4.
And you can set the GoPro if you want. It should be popped up here now.
So, yeah, the breech hole might be to stop popcorning out of the balls. I like the modern method of stopping the popcorning that Eclipse has, which is just slightly, ever so slightly offsetting the feed neck. So basically, I don't think you've ever seen it, but unlike an LV1, the feed neck is a tiny bit offset from the body. So it drops in and then rolls into the breech. Can't go straight back up.
KO.
Paul's out.
All right, we're good here. I think we're back in action.
And I see everything on. Oh, there we go. I see Paul. I see Paul full screen.
We are back, non-RIP'd. Sweet. Now let's turn the GoPro off. Is our how we look for the GH4? Sweet. Nice quick save. We gotta have our batteries out. I gotta get the batteries out. So I'm turning the GoPro off. Okay. Oh, I'm surprised how well the. Do you smell something burning?
Nope.
Okay, that's what I want to hear. Cool, so good. All right, so.
But there is a fire.
Where? Oh yeah, right here in your crotch and on your face. So another video that we put up recently is, and also this gun, it like matches you perfectly. Born to shoot the alien. Another video that we put up recently is the Sterling video with David Adahoot. And that video is pretty cool because David talks about a Sterling that he received from Marcus Davis of the Predators and
the UK Predators.
UK Predators, and we have another segment that I'm just waiting on some quotes from that will actually detail the modifications that have been done to that Sterling. So that's kind of a neat video. Was there another segment with David? No, that's it for David. Okay, let's see. We have, I think, one more slide here. We have a whole bunch more slides. So we got, okay, so we did the Jeff's Hopper. We're not going to do any magazines. And then jerseys.
Did the camo. You got to show your Opalic jersey.
Yeah.
I already showed the Sandana jersey.
See if I can find it here. You want to show that DVD one, Paul? I think it's behind you. Up next to the wall?
Where?
Oh, it's on top of the case over there. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you weren't here.
We have to go back and do the last 30 minutes because Connor was on the phone.
Ah, shit. Well, so this one? Yeah, show that one. So, you want to show it in the main video? You want to just sit with us here now? Sure.
Pop that squat.
All right, so Paul has one of Brahim Estefan's GBD jerseys here, and this one's pretty sick.
That's cool. Ryan says that Palmer's is now making brass barrels for the Sterlings.
Yes.
That's pretty badass.
Jeff, I think, got them to make that. So this is probably mid-90s. I don't know what year, probably like 93, 94. But this is one that Paul Schreck got from Brahim Estefan, and it was like a guest jersey for playing with GBD. So it's pretty badass. Has the GBD logo silk screened on the back.
GBD, good, bad, and deadly.
Which is awesome. And it's even in multicolors. I think yours is silver and mine is yellow. So this is pretty sick.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. And then we also have one other jersey here, which is pretty sweet.
This I'm envious of because it matches my mag.
Yeah, so here is, it looks like just a plain Pursuit Products Real Tree. When you flip it over, it's actually an Opalic Bad Company jersey.
Yeah!
Which is super sick. It has the Bad Company logo silkscreen in the center here. So I don't think Opalic actually wore this jersey because he was wearing plaid at the time when they would have used these, which was the 95 ESPN World Championships.
Which is why it's in such good condition.
Yeah, which is why it's in such good condition. But the rest of Bad Company, which is Tom Cole and some of the other players, they have this exact jersey on. And so yeah, this was Opalic's, and it has sponsors on the arm here. Scott, Masks, Pro Ball, PCRI, Paintball Consumer Reviews International, and Smart Parts. But yeah.
Kevin says he's got the same jersey but with Bailman 26 on the back.
Nice.
Was he another Bad Company player, I assume?
I would imagine so.
And Carmen enjoys the jersey. Yeah, that's a pretty solid find right there.
Well, Michael's talking about his jersey that I'm wearing, which is actually the Direct Connect jersey, which I guess he sold to someone else sold, and then I bought. But this one I wanted just because it's like the tie-dye that Kilborn wears on some of the covers at APG, right, Paul?
Where's the one you got off him?
I should bring actually my.
What's that?
my
Where's the
Bushmasters-
jersey you got off him at Super Game or shirt?
No, oh, well, I got some from him at Super Game, but I didn't get this one from him.
Got
So
it.
we'll show those at another time. But this is, I just thought this one's so cool. And maybe Michael, if he's still watching, he can also comment on who actually made this jersey. Was it Chris Santucci was telling me that he thought it was made by Sumo, but I would assume it was made by Pursuit Products for either Direct Connect or for Sumo or for whoever else was, you know, associated. So Michael, if you're still watching, you can clear that up. Let's
My
see.
first guess was Sumo, but
Yeah, I mean this one, it has, so if you look right here, you can see that, I'm going to turn the GoPro on really quick to illustrate this better. Let's see if it pops up, it's going to have to turn on, oops. Okay, there we go. Do you have any other questions on? Okay. Okay, so we got two jerseys here. We have the
you
Opalic,
want me to hold them?
and then we also have the Direct Connect jersey, Michael Carmen's Direct Connect. Further back like this. Is that?
Or do you want front or back?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I was
Okay.
just going to illustrate the similarities. So the reason that I assume that this one is a Pursuit Products jersey is because, so if you were to look at right here on the Opalic jersey, we can see a triple stitch. Is that showing up, Paul?
Yes.
So, okay. So yeah, we can see a triple stitch right here on the seam, on the side of it. And we can see it has the same kind of triple stitch connecting in 4 different directions here under the arm. And if we look at Michael Carmen's jersey, we can see that it also has the 4 different directions of triple stitch right here. So that's what would lead me to believe it was Pursuit Products. And also I think it has a similar tag as well. You know, it says, it actually doesn't say made in the USA, which most of them said. So if we were to look at the Opalic, it actually says made in the USA. So the tag's a little different, so not totally sure. But what do you got there, Benji?
Supernova. Nova 700.
The Nova 700.
Steven wanted us to show off some Novas.
So that is the
Show 'em the
core.
barrel that goes on.
I've had
The core
I've had
of the
quite a
Nova.
few Novas. I wish they shot better.
He's humongous.
Yeah. And that's without the frame even.
Yeah,
You can hold the
it's
frame
a kind
up.
of cool barrel though. Just torques
It's like a
out
twist lock.
twist lock automatic.
Yeah.
Here,
So
I'll
that
show you
is, that's actually
This
the,
right here is the Nova 700. Here's showing you the barrel setup.
and here
Locked
is
in.
the reg
Turns.
and frame also. So I'll just hold it how it would go. Something kind of like this. Obviously the trigger is not set up on this one,
Right.
but it's essentially how it would be set up. And I have
Nice funky little gun.
I got my backup frame right here also, which I think the other parts are somewhere else, but there's like 1.5 Novas. And so that one actually said the Nova 700 ET, which is one of the only Nova 700 ETs I've seen. ET is for electronic trigger, and so there's the Supernova ET, which was the Supernova with the electronic trigger. We have some bum fights.
Carter.
Yeah, probably. I mean, probably a Carter, most likely. It matches Benji's, essentially.
Mine has 4 on the bottom.
It has 4 ovals.
Yeah.
I mean, still.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, or actually, you know what? On that one, those bodies, I think. So actually, you want to throw that under the GoPro, and we can see
So,
who messaged you this. Tony
Tony.
from Time to Paintball.
Yeah, he was asking me what kind of cocker body that
And
is right
I
there.
think on that body, those styles were actually made by Check It. That would be a question for Mike or Glenn, or
Okay.
even Sonny. Sonny might know. I think Sonny has one that he shoots quite a bit, and I think those were made by Check It.
Well, he said he sold it last year, so.
Oh, R.I.P. So-
I kind of would like to do a barrel portion next stream.
So
I think we can do it simply on like different die variations.
different die variations, and we can also look at the information that John Coleman gave
Right.
me, because John actually worked for Carter and Dave DeHaan at, for die
Right.
essentially. He was essentially Die's first employee. But
We have a bunch of cool die barrels, and I've had some pretty cool prototype die barrels, which I wish I hung on to. But
I have a few with like different style portings, and
Yeah.
also a couple Carter ones that have Carter barrels that were for buzzards in the early 90s that have a similar front portion, so you could essentially see where Youngblood's inspiration came from to have
Right.
that kind of I guess it's like fluted at the end. The muzzle brake is fluted. It has those, they're basically just long cuts and then ported through. But yeah, that's a good idea. And if anyone else has any ideas on segments that they want us to cover, or history that they're wondering about, or guns that they want to see us show off, then you guys just need to comment on the videos that we have up and send us messages, and message
Right.
Benji on Instagram. And Paul, are you posting on Instagram lately?
I've just been away from social
Right.
media.
Paul's RIP social media, so if you see Paul on the street, just yell at him with segments that you want him to talk about. Just be like, Paul, I want you to talk about your CCM J6, or you still have any Rippers or any Timmies?
I have one Ripper left.
Just tell him you want to see that Ripper. Tell him you want to see you have some shockers.
Yeah, I have so many shockers.
All right, he has I have so many shockers.
So I wanted to correct myself real quick. I was saying that on the new Egos that the offset feed neck is to prevent popcorning. It's to prevent bounce of the ball. What do you call it?
How is that different?
Tim says prevents breech bounce. That's what I was referring to when I said popcorning, but popcorning is really when you shoot and it shoots the ball up instead of out.
Okay, so one of those would be when you're actually firing, and one would be when you're not firing.
Right.
Okay, so I thought since I was wearing the Direct Connect jersey, I should be holding an F1 Illustrator. And this one on the bottom says, "For David," from Kenneth Farrell of Fast Tech. Farrell, let's see, Fast Tech is Farrell Action Sports Technology, Fast Tech.
It's like an F1.
So this is an F1, yeah. Do you know what this is?
No.
This is a California Cobra. This is a unique California Cobra because it doesn't have the powder coat, and it also doesn't have any of the stamping, and it lacks the front and back sights. So I don't know if this is a prototype or if it was just manufactured later, but it had
Does this come off?
Yes, that piece somehow comes off. I'm not sure, not sure how, but don't try to get it off
I'm not
either.
gonna break it.
But this is a gun that was made in 1986. You want to show it off
This
on
thing
the GoPro?
looks freaking
Since-
awesome.
What is that?
It's a California Cobra, and I think it might be a prototype for the California Cobra, but
This thing looks
essentially
awesome.
that is a gun that was made by Rich Brain, Gail Go, and Sam McBride. So Gail Go was Aerostar West, Sam McBride was Aerostar in Chicago, and then Rich Breen was running a machine shop, and they were partners in this project. And I have articles about this on BacciPaintball. But essentially, they made this gun in 1986, and then Direct Feeds came out, and it kind of didn't go anywhere, and Aerostar went with the Assassinator line shortly after that. So this one doesn't have some of the features that the production California Cobras had, so I don't know if it was just one that was made later by Sam McBride or if it was a prototype. Either way, super cool. You're not going to see one in that kind of metallic blue otherwise.
It makes me think of a Brass Eagle Nightmare when I hold it.
So this would have been coming out slightly before or around the exact same time as the very first version, Brass Eagle Nightmares. This is Nelson based, and the Nightmare is obviously like a Crossman valve based. Yeah, it's super cool.
I think it's badass.
Yeah.
It's just like
It looks like the gun that RoboCop shoots, basically.
There's down the barrel of a .44 Magnum. There you go.
I mean, I'll stick with the F1.
That thing is badass.
So, what do you guys think? Do we have anything else to talk about?
It's almost 10, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Paul's got to
Calling
leave.
it.
2 hours.
Paul's got to leave at 8, so we better end it.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Till next time.
Oh yeah, we should Just tell them the next event that we're playing.
To reiterate that.
Next event I'm playing is I'm just playing this Sunday rec ball at SC Village. We have a SoCal stock event next week at Field of Fire.
12 grams only.
12 grams only, but you can use loaders. And then you got the bocce game up in Guerneville. I want to say August 11th through 13th.
Is there internet still going there, Paul?
Yep.
And that's it.
Cool. Yeah,
So see us there, hit us up, send us some pictures of your cool guns so we can talk about them.
Yeah, SC Village this weekend, Fields of Fire 29th, and Bocce Mountain 11th through the 13th. So see you guys there, and if not, then what are you doing?
Peace.
Peace.
Okay. So at the end of that one, we got some good things to talk about.